Hello everyone! Feels like I haven't done a video for a very long time, but we actually have only skipped 1 week, so it hasn't really been that long. But here I am today and I'm finally filming the Q&A video, which is something we haven't ever done before, and we are nearing 1 year anniversary of our channel, so I think it was good time to do a little Q&A and see what kind of questions do you have for us? But before I get into that video, I wanted to just show a quick update on our house. It's not like much is changed, but since the last video you saw in the house, we were putting in the doors and we finally have finished those. So let me show you how it looks. So here we have all the 3 doors that we have here already and done. We have finished all the skirting boards around. The only thing that's missing is here, this kind of step that we have here in between the doors, because that was the last door we put in. But yeah, it's all good. It's finally all done, which was, as we were saying in the previous video, quite a nightmare. And another new thing is this sofa that we finally have as well. We arrived a week or almost 2 weeks ago now, which is one of the things that was missing here. And this is how it looks from here. On this side, here we have Kobe's bed. Right, Kobe? This is how it is. In the middle of the room, we had a little poof there, and we have added these cabinets, which is a bit messy now because we have cables and everything, but yeah, we got the TV here already as well. So that's a little bit of a news here. We still haven't got the dining room sorted. We have the lights on as well, as you can see. But yeah, that's it really for the house. Now okay, let's get into the video. I'm going to do it by myself because Fabio is busy working and he doesn't really have time that much during the day to film, and I don't really feel like filming in the evening when there's very bad light. And the weekends we always spend doing something else, so yeah, I just decided I'll just do it by myself. If I can catch him in for some questions that are more specific for him, then I'll go and disturb him a little and we'll see how it goes. So let's get into the questions. I am from Latvia and born and raised in Latvia, and Fabio is born and raised in Portugal. But we both lived in the UK for about 6 years, which is also where we met each other. Yes, of course we are enjoying the weather. I don't know many people who wouldn't enjoy this weather. I personally am someone who really likes to be warm. I like hot weather, so yes, I'm definitely enjoying it, even though the winters are a bit colder. But that is definitely nothing compared to where I've lived before in Latvia and in the UK. So yes, I'm enjoying the weather, and I think Fabio's as well. So this is a really good question. This is a question I feel like I want to ask everyone who is doing any YouTube videos, because most of the time that's something people don't talk about. Fabio is a software developer and he works full-time from home, and he also owns his own company. And I work for him in assisting with the company side of things. So yeah, we are both employed, and but I'm not gonna lie, I definitely do not work nearly as many hours as he does, so I definitely have a lot more free time to do things like this on YouTube and whatever things around the house in the garden. In short, no, because I already was living away from my home country, which was in the UK, for the 6 years before we moved to Portugal. So no, in general, it wasn't very hard because I was already kind of away from my family and my closest friends. But in terms of moving to specifically to Portugal, it was a bit harder because I don't speak the language here, and I don't know anyone else here like I did in the UK. When I moved to UK, I had my brother there, and I knew a few other people that have moved there before, so it was something that wasn't quite as new. But here everything is new. I don't speak the language. I don't know anyone. I didn't know anyone here before. So yeah, I think it was a bit harder than I thought it would be at the beginning. Yes, of course I am learning. I don't know how else I would be able to live here if I wasn't learning. But I will be honest that to say that I think I was learning and I was more enthusiastic about learning it before we actually moved here. I think it was a lot more exciting back then than when we moved here, and then I just felt like, I cannot be bothered with this. It's so complicated. I don't understand what anyone is saying. Yeah, so with the language, it has been really hard. I am here for nearly 2 years, but I already kind of knew some basics of Portuguese before that, because obviously Fabio is Portuguese and we had been planning to move here before. So I was kind of like picking up on things already before that, but moving here and realizing the reality and how people are speaking, the different accents and all this just kind of was quite overwhelming at the beginning, because I just felt like there is no way I'm gonna ever learn this. And still, these 2 years in, I'm still nowhere near being comfortable speaking. But I actually just started taking lessons a week ago, which is 2 times a week. 2 hours 2 times a week, and I hope that's going to really help. About the lessons, there was actually someone also asked about the Portuguese lessons here, and I don't know if it is in every city or town, but there is government offered lessons in a lot of schools in Portugal, in a lot of cities, and they are for free. It's quite good, so yeah. Definitely suggest looking in for that. They usually start like a normal school year, so in September till June, and it's probably in one of the local schools. So definitely look into that if you're looking for some Portuguese lessons, or meeting some other foreigners in the area and just having some more people to talk with and train your Portuguese. In my experience, it actually is hard. I know a lot of people have said that a lot of people here speak very well English and all that, but I guess I happen to live in areas where people don't really speak much English. There are obviously in a lot of places that they do, but in my case, I haven't met many people who, like in kind of like public spaces and all kind of customer service kind of spaces, where they do speak very well English, and yeah, that's my experience. We have made some friends around here, definitely. Most of them are actually also foreigners, some expats that have come to this area, which in this area are quite a lot. Fabio, as he's Portuguese, he has some friends that already he knows before from childhood that actually live in this area also. That's something that we realized when we moved here, is that in this area where we live, there are quite a few people from his hometown. So that was interesting and good as well, of course, knowing that someone you already know lives around here. This is a funny question which I really like to answer. Yeah, I think I'll have to grab Fabio to answer that. This is where he spends most of his days. There is a question, do we want chickens?
Yes, we do want chickens, of course. You
And-
need to convince Lima that we need chickens.
I said I don't want chickens and that you want chickens, and argument of the year.
We need to.
Yeah, we will see who is gonna win this. But in short, is that I don't want to have chickens, but Fabio wants to have chickens. So we will see who is going to win this argument in future. But at the moment, we're not planning to have any chickens. That's I think something a lot of people are worried about. No, we're not near a forest. We live in an urbanization, and there's mostly houses around. But we do live near Serra da Rábida, which has a lot of forests, but it's not that close. And there are not many fires that we've heard of happening there in that area. So no, we're not worried about these fires, and we don't really live in the area that it happens very often. The cost for our house was 140,000, and for this area it is actually pretty good deal. The house on the market was for 160k, and yeah, we negotiated it down to 140, which is again something people often ask, how much money can we negotiate with the house. And I think it really depends on how the house is priced and what is the area like, if it's very competitive and all that. And on top of that, we spent around 20k for the renovation. So yeah, it comes up to 160 that we have pretty much spent on this house. And I think there were quite a lot of difficult things. Obviously, we got ourselves in a situation that was very difficult, which had to do with all the builder situation, the people that we hired to do and that were not trustable in the end, that really made the whole thing very stressful and dragged it out a lot, which you can see all about in previous videos. So yeah, that was one of the most difficult things. But before that, even I think one of the most difficult things as well was to actually find someone that's gonna do work. We live in an area where there are a lot of new builds, and it's something that is very it's a busy area for this kind of work. Then in general, renovation stuff, what was hard was all the dust that was here. Because it was dragged so long, there was always this mess and dirt everywhere, and it was taking for a very long time. And for me personally, it was very hard because I had to clean it up every day. We lived in the annex that is just like it's connected to the house with just one room in between, and every time they were cutting through some walls or something, there's a huge wave of dust coming into our annex, no matter how much we were closing everything up. So yeah, that was quite difficult. And then obviously there were some jobs that were difficult, like the brick windows were very difficult to put, the doors are very difficult to put. But yeah, I think that the most difficult thing was that how long it was taking, and how we were really messed about from our builders, that they were not coming up, not showing up, and every morning you wake up thinking, is someone gonna be here today and do something or no? And yeah, that was a very difficult part. That's something that Fabio actually introduced me to. I didn't really know anything about it, but I think in general, all this wanting to garden, wanting to grow our own produce started when we started thinking about moving to Portugal, and we were thinking about all kind of alternative ways of living and sustainable living and more healthy and natural ways of doing a lot of things like that. And we started watching all kind of documentaries and YouTube channels, and we came across this a lot of people that were doing permaculture and that were practicing permaculture and that were gardening and that were growing their own veggies and fruits, and we started really getting interested in that. And I'm someone who was raised with having a garden and having a lot of our homegrown veggies, and that it kind of interested me as well, because that's kind of something I've seen almost all my life. Yeah, we started thinking that would be really nice to grow our own and just try and see what happens. And we were looking into all kind of different methods and how we could do, and we did know that Portugal has a very harsh hot climate during summer. I think that's how I came across permaculture, was that it's sort of a way for gardening that really fits into this climate, and that's how we started thinking about it. And one of our favorite YouTube channels for that was this James Prigioni, I think is that how you pronounce his surname, and he does the same. He's practicing permaculture principles in the urban garden, and yeah, that's how we kind of, I think, got into it, and yeah, we're happy with that. So that's pretty much it with all the questions. This was very fun to answer. It's interesting to know what people want to hear about, and as you can see, people have all the kind of different questions. And I think mostly it's about how is the life in Portugal, how is it to be a foreigner in Portugal, and I hope I answered your questions well. I hope you got something out of this. It was very fun to do. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video. I think we are planning to start planning the gardening for the next season. So I guess that's going to be one of our next videos. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video and see you later. Bye.